So, in the worst possible time to drop a project that he can capitalize off of, during a time where people around the country are protesting against gun violence and murder against a black woman, Tory decides to drop an album like a cornball. This is Naoto's Interlude, and you are with me, your host, Naoto Wakabayashi, and I'm going to go through this Tory Lanez drop. I listened to it so you don't have to. Yeah. Tory, after months of silence, announced on Thursday that he would be giving his side of the story at 9 p.m. PST. And many speculated that he was going to hop on IG Live. Yeah, he dropped that project and not a good look at all. For some reason, he decided to speak on this through a piece of music. Look, if he was going to say anything, especially as the person that's being accused, it probably would have been better for him to have waited until his court date or to address it on a public platform where he's not capitalizing off of a horrible and traumatic situation. Instead, he opted to do exactly that. I listened to this project, so you don't have to. And all I can say is that it sounds like a Tory Lanez project. Honestly, I feel like the one thing that I do have an issue with is people speaking out positively for this thing, trying to be contrarians, basically saying, oh, this is Tory's best project that he's ever dropped. Megan is lying. Don't believe her. But clearly these people, they need to either get their listening comprehension checked or, again, they're just trying to go against the grain. They're just trying to be different. Actually, don't listen to those people, because this project from a sonic standpoint is very mediocre. It doesn't explore anything beyond what he's ever done. And it honestly does sound like a regression of his sound. Oftentimes with his music, it sounds like he's emulating someone else's sound. For example, when he's rapping, he kind of sounds like Drake. He sounds like other people. All right, so I know you don't give a fuck about that. You definitely just want me to go into the content of this thing, but all I can say, man, is that Tory sounds psychotic on this. He sounds manipulative, abusive, and all in all, he sounds like a cornball. He's here saying that Megan is lying and how much he misses her and how she should come back to him and how she needs to return. And he's talking about the good old days. This motherfucker sounds abusive. And on top of that, Tory is just trying to gaslight anybody that took it upon themselves to listen to this thing. And it's really whack. He's saying that she's lying, right? And then he starts crooning out of nowhere, saying some shit like, I told my exes you be my girl and the joke's on me. It's like, wow, you need help, bro. Frankly, it's fucking disgusting, because I forgot on which one of these songs, but he goes on this unfortunately pathetic rant about, the women that have denounced him and have supported Meg and have taken Tory off of their songs on the deluxe album. And specifically, he talks about Kehlani and how he's met her daughter and all that, as if people aren't allowed to denounce other people when they've done something fucked up to another person they care about or someone that they don't really know that well. Wow, what a concept. Yeah, he even goes after JoJo, basically saying that, the song that he featured on in her album, Good to Know, he's basically saying that she's trash, and how that one song that he's featured on is in her top 5. Probably all thanks to playlisting, by the way, not thanks to your fucking forgettable feature. It's really sad, right? Because, after this, he goes on throughout the album to talk about how, the white people and just the powers that be and the institutions are trying to take him down because he went independent, has his own masters, and is relating cancel culture with it. It's like, bro, there's no greater conspiracy to take you down. You're just a fucking cornball. You've just been an asshole your whole career. Let's call a spade a spade. This man was out here as a teenager trying to scam people by saying that he was Drake's younger brother. And on top of that, he said some like flagrant bozo ass shit about how, you know, how could he be trying to sound like Travis Scott when he's ghostwritten for him? When Travis has an issue with it, you're trying to fight him like a huge bozo, and you're going after Dax too. You're going after Drake. I feel like why people are retaliating so hard against you, Tory, is because all this is so consistent with how much of a fucking dick you are and how little you clearly respect women and black women, especially. Releasing the album is one thing, of course, but how tone deaf do you have to be to announce that you're going to explain your side at 9 p.m. on the day that the murderers who killed Breonna Taylor have essentially gone off scot-free, when violence against black women is at the forefront of these discussions about injustice? Clearly, you are not stupid enough to think that it wouldn't be a good idea to drop this album during this time. So the only conclusion is that this was deliberate and that he was intentionally trying to use this moment as marketing. This project and the release around this project has only validated my belief of what Megan said over what Tory said. And ultimately, hey, so I was editing the video and I had a few more points that I wanted to add before I wrapped everything up. First being, I myself am not a supporter of cancel culture. Let me make that very, very clear. I believe that you need to allow people to make mistakes and to grow past them, to acknowledge what they did wrong, and you need to give them space to grow. The issue here is that Tory is clearly not remorseful or apologetic about the situation. He is making this whole thing about him. Now, why I don't believe Tory is because it took him 2 months to basically put out an incoherent response. At the end of the day, you could tell that he was just doing this for his ego. The way that he was attacking other women on this project, the way that he was trying to manipulate Megan into returning to him and being on his side again, and how throughout this whole project he was trying to create this victim narrative for himself. All from people in Meg's ear, telling her to lie, how the powers that be are trying to ruin his career. I just don't get it. Like, I truly do feel like people are trying to be contrarians. I see so many comments about how the music is so fire, and it's just opened up my eyes to the extent that people would go towards defending a man's actions, especially something like this. So, okay, let's take what Tory is saying in this project and let's analyze what he's insinuating here. He is insinuating that he didn't shoot that gun, even though it was found under his possession. He's saying that he didn't shoot it at Megan and she didn't see who shot the gun. So, is he insinuating that Meg's best friend shot this gun and he just took the fall for it? He took the blame for it? Do you think that if this actually happened, that Tory wouldn't say this directly? No, he's being so vague about this that this guy is most likely lying. And let's take the whole like, oh, you know, he has a pending trial coming up. Then why is he putting out an album? Why is he putting out a project that can be used directly against him in court? Let's get that narrative all the way out of here. And on top of that, men are so down to protect other men. It's like, bro, really, Tory Lanez? You are going to defend Tory fucking Lanez of all people. He is a bozo for what he did. I don't care what kind of fight that he got into with her. This guy pointed a gun and shot at her feet. And over the weekend, I've been seeing men defending Tory, saying that he's innocent, saying that they believe him over her and that this music is so fire, like who cares, blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is not the fight you should be fighting for. This is not that fragile meninist bullshit that you should be fighting for. I get it. You're hurt. It's okay. But this is not it, bro. He literally pointed a gun at a woman. What kind of sucker, what kind of coward does that kind of shit? At this point, if that's what you got out of this whole project's release and the project itself, there's nothing that I or anyone else can do to help you, because clearly you're choosing to ignore the facts here. And one more thing before I sign off. I also see some people saying that they're going to reserve their judgment until the verdict, as if the American judicial system would be the source of truth in these types of matters. For example, all of the countless cases with incorrect judgments regarding abuse. R. Kelly in the 90s. Are you telling me that even though there was video footage of R. Kelly literally peeing on a girl, and since the court said that he was not guilty, that he didn't do that? Is that what you're telling me? I know that in your head you understand this, so please don't take the easy way out. Look at all aspects of everything that's been going on here and remove that clouded, misogynistic garbage out of your brain. I say all this to say that I believe Megan. Tory's rollout, it has already confirmed my suspicions. And actually, I've lost a ton of respect for him. I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.